And here we see the Maximus Eggus, or as it's locally known, the large-headed Eggman. You can recognise the Maximus Eggus thanks to its large cranium and propensity to spit out random trivia about lesser-known retro video games. Did you know that Huey the dog from Haunting Grounds is the same dog that you can rescue at the beginning of the original Resident Evil 4? Oh, it appears we're about to hear the mating call of the Maximus Eggus. Gary! 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 She's at work. But alas, this poor, sad, pathetic creature appears to be alone. All right, mate, okay, calm down, man. She's at work, all right? Also, who just said that? David, is that you? Get out of here, you cheeky little tyke. Oh, it appears we've been discovered, and by the engorged neck vein now appearing, we can see that this sad loser of a creature is about to attack. Get out of here, David, you goof, but also thank you for the segue into today's episode, because today it's all about Monster Hunter, baby, because Monster Hunter Wilds has just released, and likely the world is now united once more on killing mighty beasts with wanton abandon. But here's the thing, what do you do after the hunt is done? Well, fret not, my friends, because I've got some deep-cut video games designed to scratch that very specific itch. So let's have a chat, as I'm Jules, this is FGS, and these are 8 video games like Monster Hunter Wilds I guarantee you've never played. Number 8, Kaiju Busters. So let's kick things off with a title that is probably the most one-to-one Monster Hunter experience from top to bottom as you're gonna get, because it's time to talk about Kaiju Busters, which dropped for the 3DS in 2009. Now, I know what you're thinking upon watching this footage. Wait a minute, this is basically a straight-up copy of the Monster Hunter formula, what with this silly little team of idiots taking on massive beasts that by all rights should smush them to death with one move. How have I not played this game? Well, my friends, it's time for me to introduce a new friend of mine. This is Mr. Region Exclusivity. Hello, mate. How are you? How was the bus ride in? How are the family? You know what, mate? I don't give a single toss, because it's your fault that we here in the West couldn't play this hilariously silly-looking title thanks to it being a Japanese exclusive. You even had the gall to keep a sequel region locked as well, you smelly Now, get out of my domicile and I will not reimburse you for the travel. I don't care if you bought a sandwich thinking you get a payback. That's on you! No wonder, because you stink. You had a tuna crunch, haven't you, you Oh, don't look at me like that. He's a bloody JPEG for a start, but also he's the reason that you couldn't battle bloody Gamora or Dinosaur Tank from the Ultraman TV show, because yeah, these games let you battle kaijus from those shows. I know, how awesome is that? And it's his fault we couldn't play it. But I will level with you here. The gameplay itself is pretty goddamn wonky. But for all of the sheer thrill of taking down well-known kaiju, this game deserves not only more time in the sun, but an actual squeak of a release here in the West. Number 7, Extinction. Okay, I won't lie to you, my friends. Yay! This next game that we're going to be talking about is a bit of a contentious one, because while Extinction does feature a lot of mechanics and ideas that will whet the whistle of many Monster Hunter fans, it does come with a pretty severe caveat. And that is that this game is straight up unplayable for some, and for others, well, it's just a experience. Listen, I only said that these entries were deep cuts that barely anyone played. I never said that they were any bloody good. But let's bite down on this tasty looking curb right now for a second and learn more about Extinction before it then proceeds to kick the out of any hope of joy that we had left. You see, this game dropped in 2018 and marketed itself as a cross between Monster Hunter, Attack on Titan and Shadow of the Colossus, but was meant to be delivered through a more accessible hack and slash formula. Now what this meant for the player was lots of flashy moves and animations used to take down smelly, unwashed orcs and other small creatures, before then taking on massive creatures known as the Raveni, the Raveni, I don't care to how you pronounce it. They say it twice, different ways in the game, which is not useful, using mechanics that feel straight out of Shadow of the Colossus's playbook. If that playbook was actually a post-it note that said the word climbing with a question mark at the end, and the word climbing was spelt wrong, and the note was currently being chewed to pieces by the family dog. Long story short, it barely works and feels utterly to do. But do it you must if you want to take down these big beasties and save the day. It's also a shame that once you've actually played one mission, you've played all of them, thanks to the AI in this game being more like, "Hey lad, what's going on here? I don't have a bloody clue." You just breeze through things without feeling like there's any perpetual challenge at all. unlike Monster Hunter, which basically challenges you at every step. But there is actually one challenge the game does have that is in abundance greater than Monster Hunter, and that is being able to get the game to actually run at all, thanks to some weird firewall bug that many players noted. So actually the real challenge might be to actually play the game, which I can't really recommend that you do, but if you don't, then I fulfill my guarantee of you not playing it. So it's a win, lose, win-lose scenario, obviously. Let's move on before I think about what that audio actually is. Anyway, number 6, Eternal Strands. Okay. I know I just stung you a little bit with that fat stinker of a game that was Extinction, but you know what? Let's take that straw that was leading to a big piping hot load of bin juice and instead plonk it into a cool, refreshing pint of pop. Wash the straw first. Get a new straw, actually, to be fair, because Eternal Strands is that wonderful palate cleanser that we all really need right now. Now, to be clear, there are elements of Monster Hunter present in this game. Namely the huge beasts and a whole gameplay mechanic revolving around scavenging and farming parts off of the monsters to craft bigger and better equipment. But you know what? There's also so much else going on here that actually really needs to be seen to be believed. For a start, the magic system in this game is absolutely wonderful, allowing you to manipulate elemental powers offensively to freeze, burn and entrap foes, but you can also use magic to traverse the world and use it to set traps using the environment itself. My favourite aspect has to be how you can combine all of these powers to make custom spells, like pulling an enemy into a gravity vortex and then adding flames into the mix to cook them from inside a singularity. Brutal. And then for good measure, you can hurl them back at their friends. Horrifying. Adding to this are the impressive and huge boss battles that require use of the environment and exploitation of weaknesses in order to overcome, meaning that battles are fun, over the top, and satisfying as hell. The only thing that might be a sticking point for Monster Hunter diehards is the difficulty, which definitely skews on the lighter side outside of the included hard mode. But for those looking to dip their toes into the hunter/adventure genre, you can't really do much better than this recently released gem. Number 5. Dino Hunter Deadly Shores. Hold on to your wallets, my friends, and cover your faces, because we're about to take a stroll into a region of the gaming landscape that even I fear to tread, because we're about to venture into the world of mobile games. Oh my god. Even just saying that aloud causes my mouth to fill with like a battery acid style liquid. It's just pure bile. Now, it goes without saying that there it is again. The mobile gaming marketplace utterly stinks like a used nappy on a hot summer's day and routinely fleeces unsuspecting gamers of their money for asset-flipped crap. But sometimes you'll find an utter gem amongst the feces which is so goddamn fun that it's basically undeniable. Case in point, we have Dino Hunter Deadly Shores, a game which is basically if somebody mixed the prehistoric beasties of Monster Hunter with Dave Cabela's hunting titles. You know, those games that are almost exclusively played by people who would put, "I enjoy murdering pedestrians on GTA 5 and all I talk about is the Berserk manga" in their social media bios. Oh, do you feel seen? Sorry, mate. So what do you do in Deadly Shores? Well, friend, you basically act like the Chicxulub Impactor. What a great name. Because all you do here is kill all the goddamn dinosaurs that you see, and do so with sniper rifles, shotguns, machine guns, and of course, rocket launchers when you absolutely need to positively turn that raptor into a new set of shoes. It is a violent and incredibly dumb game, but you know what, my friends? It's also that perfect switch your brain off experience that you just can't help but be drawn to, like a siren's call. Or at least you would if the game was still available on the Play and Apple Store, because unfortunately it's long since been taken down, meaning the only way to enjoy this game now is through retrospective playthroughs of this very odd title. Right then. Number 4, Monster Hunter Puri Poogie Race. Okay friends, you've seen the motions, you know what it means. Yes, that's right, it's the Evil Finger Temple of Doom, which is coming out once more, and only ever seems to make an appearance when I'm stretching the premise of a video to its limit by including a game that only has the most remote excuse of being included. And to better explain why I've included this game in particular, let me ask you one question. When is a branded Monster Hunter game not a Monster Hunter game? Well, the answer is clearly when it's Puri Poogie Race, which, while having all of that glorious Monster Hunter branding, is a goddamn kart racer. Ish. And I say this because it's a racing game that dropped in 2013 for Japanese arcades, but it doesn't have you piloting vehicles, but instead has you slapping the hams of the pig-like Poogies from the game in a battle to see who is the bacon-filled best. However, the means of controlling your character in this game are outrageous, because here you have to rock the Poogie model back and forth to set the speed, and look, there's no bones about this one, it makes you look like you're a goddamn pig while you're playing this. I'm sorry, if you want to stand away from it and just do that there, it just looks even weirder. It's just, honestly, it doesn't even matter if this game is any good or not, because the sheer act of riding your Poogie in public will be enough of an embarrassment that few will likely admit to playing this game. Number 3, Master of the Monster Lair. And now for something completely different, my friends, as we take a look at a video game less about monster hunting and instead more about raising, training and developing them until they're so goddamn strong that they become super bosses which you can then try and take down. This is Master of the Monster Lair that dropped for the DS way back in 2007. And while the comparison to Monster Hunter might not be immediately apparent, there are tonal similarities that will certainly appeal to some. You see, the gimmick here is that you play as this silly little fella called Owen, who's been tasked by the mayor with bringing new people to their town in order to help the local economy. Yet instead of building a tourist attraction like a theme park or developing infrastructure unique to the town, Owen decides to dig a big goddamn hole, stuff it with monsters, and then use them to attract heroes to come from far and wide to battle their way to the bottom. I mean, obviously. No, don't ask questions like, what happens if the monsters escape, or if a no-name farmhand can beat these monsters, surely it'll be too easy for renowned heroes. Keep those thoughts right inside the head, my friend. Stuff them right on down. Therefore, it's up to the player to build their own custom dungeon using the layout to draw different types of monsters, which they can then hunt for items that then allow them to delve deeper and deeper. It's a surprisingly refreshing take on the dungeon crawler trope and kind of reminds me of like games like Dark Cloud, you know, you just like build a village in order to get more things to then go explore more. I like it. Plus the aspect of farming, scavenging and actual farming for food to lure the monsters inside feels like a familiar but altogether different take on the Monster Hunter formula, with you attracting some truly formidable foes in the late game that you can then bash to pieces for some sweet ass loot. So, if you're looking for a more RPG focused take on Monster Hunter, well, give Master of the Monster Lair a try. Number 2, Perennial Order. Now, it's hard to talk about the recently released and severely underappreciated boss rush horror game Perennial Order without drawing some direct comparisons to Dark Souls, as the gothic visuals and punishing gameplay are drawn from that same river of gloom. However, once you dive beneath the admittedly gnarly looking visuals, you'll find that there is a game with a lot of tonal complement to Monster Hunter instead. These being the deep lore and all of the weird creatures, a huge focus on nature and natural elements, huge monsters to take down, and a gameplay loop focusing on powering up to fell the next mighty beast. Plus, there's a real sense of danger that's present within Perennial Order, as in this game, you die in just one hit. Yet unlike Dark Souls, you won't have to trudge for hours back to the boss fight arena, because now you just respawn right outside the entrance, which keeps player investment high. Plus that rush you get from killing a boss without taking a single hit, that is the truest comparison to Monster Hunter's high of taking down a huge beast alongside your party, and trust me, you'll be chasing that rush over and over again in this game. And the best part is that you can do all of this with a friend by your side, as Perennial Order offers both online and offline co-op gameplay. So grab a buddy and be prepared to test that friendship as you both attempt to survive without taking a single hit. Good luck. And number 1, Soul Sacrifice Delta. And so we close on what is weirdly another PS Vita exclusive title, and also one that most definitely will scratch that Monster Hunter itch, because there is no two ways about it. Soul Sacrifice Delta is a Monster Hunter clone through and through, but it is one that is so goddamn good, it's a genuine shame that not more people have played it. You see, this game is basically What if Bloodborne was delivered via Monster Hunter through a feeding tube directly into my veins, because yes please, I'll be having some of that. And it results in some truly weird abominations that you are then tasked with taking down. But what makes this game so special, however, is that you play as a battle wizard reliving epic encounters from the past, so you get to wield their magical powers, which come in the form of some truly impressive and very odd spells. If you're bored of lighting up enemies with flames and ice, well, why not cover yourself in a ball of hardened magma and smash right into the side of your enemies? Adding to this is the ability to sacrifice or spare enemies once they're defeated, which rewards your character with new skills, powers, as well as allowing you to join different powerful factions, and ultimately will dictate which ending you get. Performing these rituals in the heat of battle adds another layer of pressure, plus it can reward you with some absolutely outstanding weapons and armors to boot. Another impressive touch is that all of the monsters you fight have deep backstories explaining why they are the way they are, reasons why they should be saved, and some why they should be banished from existence. And this even carries over to the gameplay, where certain attacks will be triggered depending on your use of certain items and how you engage them, meaning that careful research before a battle can impact the state of play dramatically. So all in all, this is the best type of clone game, one that takes the formula and improves on things enough to stand alone from its peers, while still offering that familiarity that fans of the original will be right at home with. It's just a shame that once more Soul Sacrifice's home is the Vita, which might as well be a casket buried beneath the Earth's core for how much Sony cares about bringing back titles from that platform. And there we go, my friends, those were 8 video games like Monster Hunter that I guarantee you've never played. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, and also let me know how you're finding Monster Hunter Wilds. Is it a good game? I don't know, it's literally being released the day that this video is being released as well. Fingers crossed it is good, because I really do like this franchise. Let me know down in the comment section below regardless. And if you want to follow me on my social medias, you can do so by going over to Blue Sky, where I'm at RetroJ, but the O is a 0. You can follow my lovely editor Mark over here on his social medias as well. But before I go, I want to say one thing. Even though we spoke today a lot about video games that let you hunt and fell mighty beasts, let's take a look at one other thing that we should chop down, and that is some negativity that can sometimes be turned inwards on ourselves. Don't let the big beast of badness try and take you down, my friend, because you are a good person. You deserve love, happiness and success, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise. Use the power of positivity to knock that beast on its arse and then fart right in its face. Yeah. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.